Now let's talk cars. Car maker Fiat Chrysler has recalled 1.4 million vehicles. This is in the States, after journalists show that its parts could be hacked into and driven remotely from miles away. Scary prospect? Technology journalist James Cook can tell us more. Exactly what was this experiment about, James?
So hackers have been able to get into a car and they were able to lock their driver inside, drive it off the road into a ditch. Now this was an experiment done with a journalist who consented, with a car manufacturer who consented. But what we don't know is if this actually happened in the real world yet. So obviously Fiat is now panicking, recalling these vehicles and trying to patch them, to try and update the software to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
So, my understanding was this experiment, let's call it that for the sake of argument, was done in February this year. So the proof of concept that this theoretically could be done was established in February, and yet they've only done the recall now. We're nearly in August.
Yes, the article about it has just come out, but we know that Fiat has known about this flaw for quite a while. And obviously, having to recall 1.4 million cars is a huge problem. But in terms of Fiat, that's the only thing that they can do, because they can't issue an update over the internet to these cars. They have to actually put in a USB stick and fix the software that way. That's a very costly thing, and that must have taken a lot of time for them to say, actually, we're going to have to go to this last resort now.
I know you didn't personally do this experiment, so we're learning what the magazine concerned has told us. But from what we know of the connection, this is the fact that an awful lot of cars have got either a phone or a SIM card of their own in the car. Is that the gateway to do this hack?
Yeah, so we're going to see a lot more stories like this because cars are becoming much more connected. They have entertainment systems which link to the internet. They have systems which let you, for example, open the doors as you turn up to your car. And those are really convenient and actually quite nice. But what we're seeing now is hackers are looking into that. They can break into the source code of your car and say, okay, hang on, there's a way for me, if I'm not in the car, to lock the doors, to open the doors, to take over. So they're always trying to figure out how to break through into these connected cars. And sadly, that's actually something we're seeing a lot more of.
I suppose, again, let's be naive here. To have the traffic going one way, i.e. for my traffic system to pull the latest traffic information, the latest weather information, pull my diary, manage that kind of stuff is okay. But the return path of actually being able, from somebody on the internet, to go and find that car, which I guess, like most things, has got an IP address, and then manipulate code, that's a bit scary, isn't it? Why do you think it was designed that way?
So what they tried to do is kind of separate the different parts of the car's entertainment system. So on one side you've got the radio, movies, that's the bit that's connected to the internet. And on the other side you've got the local bit, which lets you open the doors as you come near the car. Now what hackers have done is gone through the entertainment one and broken into the other side. So what car manufacturers need to do is make sure those are two separate systems that hackers can't cross from one to the other.
Right, and this would mean that they've, as you describe, it's not a simple fix by just pressing download this bit of code, like updating a bit of software we do on our tablets or computers. They're actually going to have to do it car by car in a garage.
Yep, they're actually going to have to physically gain access to all of these vehicles. So we saw something similar a while back in that Rolls-Royce cars where the hackers were able to unlock their doors. So they issued an update over the internet, which sounds great and fine, but a lot of people park their Rolls-Royce cars in underground garages where they're not connected to the internet. So those cars weren't updated. And that's a really terrifying thought. So the only way to actually fix them and know that they're all fixed is to gain access, stick in a USB stick and say, okay, it's now fixed.
And I know it's not directly related to this story, but there are ways now that thieves can read your blipper as you open the car door, as you walk up to it. That's another scary prospect, isn't it? That car security is so poor.
Yeah, so the wireless key that you have, that operates on a frequency that people can access very, very cheaply. I could go on the internet and pay about $40 for something that could jam that, so then you couldn't open your door. Or if you'd already unlocked it, you can remotely lock it again. So it's important to note that these hackers haven't got equipment worth millions of pounds. They've brought things on the internet very, very cheaply. So we saw another report saying that they used a DAB radio transmitter to hack cars through displaying text on their radio dashboard. That happened with components that you can buy cheaply online. They turn up in about a week and then you're done.
All a very scary prospect. James Cook, safe journey home. I should walk if I were you. This is Digital View on Sky News.